Hi guys, happy Monday. It is Monday maker time. Yes, it is. Thought I had something else to say and I didn't. That's it. No. How was everybody's weekend? Did everyone have a nice weekend? I was saying earlier that my weekend was not quite long enough. Sometimes it's just the right amount. Other times it's like, can we just get a do-over, please? I wasn't ready. I blinked and it was over. Hi, Clarice. How are ya? Glad to see you. There's Miss Karen. Hi. And Susie. Everybody coming on in. So glad to see everybody. Mondays are one of those where I always worry that, like, what if nobody shows up on Monday? What if everybody forgets? Like, maybe over the weekend something happened that was just extraordinary and everybody just forgets that Sarah's going to be there on Monday. I don't know why I worry about that, but you know, sometimes I do. And I was actually thinking earlier, I did a Facebook Live earlier this morning with Silver Silk, and I was thinking about all of the familiar faces that come and spend their time with me while I do Facebook Live, and how it is such a comfort to me. You guys might not know this about me just because of the job that I have, but I'm like a high-functioning introvert. So when I'm not doing Facebook Live, I'm very, very much introverted, and I have, you know, I don't mind to be by myself. Like, I'm my own best company, but sometimes I get nervous about Facebook Live, which is really silly because I've been doing this forever, and it's way different than live TV. And I never got really nervous about live TV, but now Facebook Live, for some reason, sometimes makes me a little bit nervous. And it is such a comfort to me when I'm having those nervous moments to see so many of you that I see, you know, every time I do this. There's Julie and Rosanna, and, you know, I don't know. It's just a comfort to me. So just so that you all know, I appreciate you guys. Wanda, Sandra, everybody. It's just so nice because I see you guys several times throughout the week, and I just want you to know that maybe I don't see every single comment, but I do see you. I see you and I appreciate you, and you are such a comfort to me that you're here. So, you know, just loving you, sending out some love this Monday. I don't know, I'm just in one of those moods. You never know what you're going to get when you come to see me, right? All right, so we've got a fun earrings project today. I am really excited about this one. I wasn't quite sure about it at first, but now that I've had some time to kind of like let it sink in and really look at it and then put the earrings on, I did say earrings, right? We're making earrings if I didn't say that. I had a chance to put the earrings on and like wear them around for a little while, and they really grew on me. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be a good project because Wanda, go put on some pants. Oh my goodness. I just happened to look up at the wrong time. Anyway, you guys see her comment. This pair of earrings is one of, just like all of my projects, and I probably say this every time we get together, that it's one that you can change and alter. And I look in particular for projects that are like that for you guys. So like the project this morning that I did with Silver Silk, there were so many different things that you could do to alter the project. And this earrings project is one of those. And the more I wore it today, the more I looked in the mirror and was like, how do I feel about these earrings? The more I realized that this definitely fits the bill when it comes to all of the different ways that you can change this up and make this different. So that in mind, that's how I want you guys to kind of approach this earrings project, because these earrings, and you guys know how I am, these earrings are large and in charge. These earrings are not for the faint of heart. This is a huge earring, but because it is such a big earring, it can be converted and changed into a smaller pair of earrings that you might love more, right, than the big ones, because the big ones are not for everybody, but it's one of those projects. So I'm feeling really good about it. I hope you guys like them as well. We're using some beautiful check glass beads, and you guys, sorry, I don't mean to fidget on you. there are weekly deals going on over on the Jesse James Beads website that need to be noted, and check glass happens to be one of those things. And so the check glass for this week is buy one get one 50% off the check glass beads, and you use the coupon code BOGO50 check. Definitely go to the website and be sure that you get that one, like copy and paste it, just so that I don't mess that up for you. Okay, so BOGO50 check, no spaces, for your buy one get one 50% off on check glass. So if you love this color that we're going to use, it's available. You want to grab it, or any of the beautiful check glass beads that are available on the website. Also, $10 off of your magical mystery bead boxes. That coupon code is mystery. And last but not least, nope, actually I take that back, there's two more. Free beading book with a $25 cart with the word book smart, all one word, no spaces. And then last but not least, it is May the 4th, and May the 4th be with you. And we are celebrating May the 4th with 40% off mixes. That is not the weekly deal. That is just good until tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. So if you are interested in using that 40% off on the mixes, you're going to have to get those quick. Okay. Wow, that was a lot. There's always so many good deals going on. So, all right, let's get to it. I'm going to show you these check glass beads and these earrings, and I hope you guys really enjoy this project, because I think it's fun. I think it's a good one. Ooh, thank you, Wanda. I appreciate that. My eyeliner is fierce. I'm all about being fierce. All right, you guys, look at this earring, okay? Give it a second to kind of sink in. Give it a minute, look at it, and first and foremost, this is a big one, right? This is a big earring. But I'm sure you can see already how you can change this up and make this small, right? If this is way too big for you, I'm going to show you a bunch of different ways we can alter this to suit everybody's tastes, right? But the first part is this really cool little figure 8 kind of component. And actually, I'm going to show you it without the extras, because this is just one of the ways that you can alter this design. If you just like this part, like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's beautiful. One beautiful check glass bead. I mean, really, especially that blue. Yes, please. That's gorgeous. So I'm gonna show you how to do this, and everything that's in between we will talk about on the way to the finished piece. Okay. All right. Excuse me. All right. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using some 18 gauge wire. So if you've got 18 gauge on hand, you are good to go. We're going to create this little loop. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And then we're going to swirl it around a little bit to show off one of our check glass beads. So you're going to need about 12 inches of 18 gauge wire. And there are some more of those beautiful blue beads. I'm going to just move the metal out of the way here, just so that I don't forget about this. We're going to make some coils. That's why there's 2 coils here, and we've got these beautiful beads. This is where we're going. Everybody's got a little bit of an idea, okay? So give yourself about 12 inches of your 18 gauge wire, and you're going to need your artistic wire mandrel tool. This is one of my favorites. We haven't used this much lately, so I got it back out again, bringing it to the forefront. I actually have several projects in mind, and all of them are going to be using this guy. So grab this guy. If he is sitting in a desk drawer somewhere, get him out, because we're going to use him. We're going to give it lots of love. And as a matter of fact, one of the projects I have coming up, we're actually going to use the square on this instead of the circle, because we almost always use the circle. So we're going to be using some of the different shapes that are available too. Okay, so on your 18 gauge wire, you want to come down about 4 inches on that wire, and every bit of 4 inches. Don't shorten it up. Definitely give yourself plenty of wire to work with. Come down with your chain nose pliers and just give it a nice bend in the wire. I'm just using the chain nose pliers to get a really sharp bend. That's the only reason, okay? Hey, Nancy. Nancy says she's here. Hello, welcome in. Excuse me. All right, so we've got our bend. This short section of wire, this is what we're actually going to be using to create this loop, okay? So it doesn't take very much. The rest of this is for all of the wrapping around, okay? So we want to use the mandrel. I have marked mine off in millimeters, and I'm using the 16 millimeter. So we're pretty much in the middle of the mandrel tool. If you don't have the mandrel tool, just find something that is around 16 millimeters and use that as your guide. And we are just going to lay that wire up against the mandrel. I'm going to put my thumb down on it just to kind of hold it in place. And then I'm going to guide that wire all the way around the 16. Okay, up here to where that bend in the wire is. And let me turn it this way so you can kind of see how that bend, we've got that bend just laying so that it's already ready for us to take this tail end and wrap around. That's why we went ahead and made the bend in the wire. It's just easier that way, okay? So now we want to take this little tail. I'm not going to take this off of the tool. I'm holding the whole thing together on the tool as I take the tail. Sorry, I'm knocking up against the lamp that was sitting here. And I'm going to wrap around. Let me turn this way so I can get to it. I'm going to wrap around about 2 times, okay? And then I've got this little tail. I'm going to take this off, and you can see we've got a pretty perfect little loop. I mean, it's not completely perfect, but that's as close to a, you know, a perfect little loop as you're going to get. So we've got a nice 16 millimeter circle here for the component part of our earring, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and trim this part of the wire off. We don't need that, okay? Check it with your finger, make sure that you get it cut really well. And then if you want to, since we're using 18 gauge wire, it's not going to hurt anything to lay this down on your block and work harden it just a little bit, okay? I know I'm to the side, but do both sides. Doesn't need a whole lot, but that's just going to help to ensure that you're going to keep that circular shape and that you don't feel like every time you go to work on this earring that you're going to pull it out of shape, okay? All right, so we have this really long tail. We've got our cute little circle here. We're going to take one of these beautiful check glass beads and we are going to thread that on. Okay, oh my goodness. Garden says, what in the world is that purple tool? It is awesome. So this is the Artistic Wire mandrel tool. It's really, really inexpensive and a tool that I grab for all the time. So it's got a nice handle on it for you to hold on to, and then it is tapered so that you can make circles with your wire of a, let's see, you can get a 6 millimeter all the way down to a 25 millimeter, I believe, and maybe 25.5. But it comes off. The top of it comes off, and there are other tops that you can fit on. There is an oval, a triangle, and a square as well as the round, and I use it for everything. I love it. Super inexpensive, definitely handy. Excuse me. All right, so I've thread on one of the 8 millimeter check glass beads, dropped that down to where our wire wraps are, and now we're going to do a wrapped loop. Now, something that's a little bit different about this than our normal projects, and that is that this is 18 gauge wire. So doing a wrapped loop with 18 gauge wire it may be a little bit of a challenge if you're not super comfortable with our wire wrapped loops. So just give yourself time. Don't rush through it. Give yourself grace. You know how it goes. Be really kind to yourself, because this 18 gauge wire, it doesn't wire wrap nearly as easily as the 22 that we normally use. It'll do it, but it is a little bit thicker, so you do have to be prepared for that. So we've just made the bend in our wire with our chain nose pliers. We're going to come in with our round nose pliers. Okay, run the wire between the barrel of the pliers. We're going to take that wire and we're going up and over the top barrel of the pliers. Okay. And then we are going to roll those pliers out of the way and take that wire on over to the other side. And we've got a lot of wire here to work with. All right. You can get one over on the Jesse James Beads website. It is a Beadalon tool, and I'm pretty sure we've got them in stock on the Jesse James Beads website. And they're super, super, they're super handy. I mean, it's worth every single penny. That's all I can say about it. It's one of my favorite tools ever, and it's so lightweight and easy to use. It's a great one to have. Okay, so we're going to do our wire wrapping just like normal. So we're just going to go slow with this thick wire. Okay. All right, now we want to straighten that wire out a bit. So I'm going to take it off of the tool so that you can kind of get a look at what we're doing. So the wire, where I did the wire wrapping, is coming across the front, okay? See how it's coming to the front of the bead, over to the left. And we are just going to take that wire and very carefully with our finger, just kind of shape it to guide it around the side of the bead. It's not really going up against the bead. It's not even on the side. It's more towards the front if you look at it from the side, but we're just kind of guiding it into that kind of half moon shape around the outer edge of the bead, okay? And we're going in front of the wire wraps that are down here below the bead. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to wrap all the way around those wire wraps. Okay. So I went all the way around the wire wraps that were already there, and now I'm coming back out. So from the back to the front over on the right side. So the question is, let's see here. Is the wire a half hard, half round, half hard? This is a, let's see, it's German style wire. So it's not a dead soft wire. This is a half hard wire. It is a round wire. Yes. Hope I answered your question correctly. German style wire. So yeah, I'm not using artistic wire, so it is definitely a half hard. And that's gonna also make this 18 gauge wire a little sturdier as well, okay? If you feel like you would rather do this with artistic wire, you certainly can. You do want to be sure that you work hard in this circle portion a lot more if you use the artistic wire though. Okay, so the wire is wrapping around the wire wraps that were below the bead, coming out this direction. And we're just going to do the exact same thing. We are very gently going to guide that wire along the side of the bead, okay? And you can see it's not laying flat up against the bead. There's some spaces there. You can see daylight between the wire and the bead. That's totally fine. And we're coming up here, going in front of these wire wraps up here on the top. And we're going to wrap around those, all of those. So we're making our pretty thick wire bundle here, okay? And I wrapped around twice. And then I'm just going to come to the back and trim off the rest of my wire. Now, if you're curious, I had way more than 12 inches of wire. That's why I have so much left over, okay? But 12 inches is going to be plenty to do this, and you won't have nearly this much left over, okay? All right, so I'm just going to trim that off. And this part of the earring is complete. And remember, I showed you in the beginning, so this would be step one for the earrings. If you are not into great big huge earrings, this would be a great point to just add an ear wire, and you have some really cute hoop earrings, right? So this is a good stopping point for some of you, because some people are not going to want this huge earring. But for the rest of us who do want a great big huge earring, we're going to keep on going, because there's going to be another stopping point coming up, okay? All right, so we're just going to take this component and we're going to sit this to the side for now. Now, we're going to need two more pieces of this 18 gauge wire. You're going to need a piece that is 6 inches long and a piece that is 8 inches long, okay? Sorry about the cord there. All right, and you're going to need your small bell making pliers for this. So let me grab those. All right, we're going to create two little spirals, or a little section of coils, okay? This is the 6 inch and this was the 8 inch. So you can see how little they're going to end up when we make the coil, but there is definitely a difference in size for sure, okay? So this is the 6 inch piece, this is going to be the 8 inch piece. So we'll start with the 6 inch, and you want to use the smallest mandrel of the small bell making pliers for this, okay? And I really enjoy making coils, so that was part of the reason I chose this project, because I really like this part. This part, I don't know, there's something about it, it's just kind of fun. So I just put the tip of the wire, 6-inch 18 gauge wire, in between the barrel of the pliers, and I'm going to turn a single loop, okay? Just one little loop, and I'm going to do another loop, and you'll notice I'm just turning the tool, the wire is coming between my fingers, and I'm going above instead of underneath each one of the wraps that I make, okay? And you're just going to create a coil out of your 6-inch piece of wire. I don't know, there's something just really satisfying about just the simple movement is making a coil of wire. I don't know what it is, but I enjoy it. Odd little things about jewelry making that I really like, and this is one of those things. All right, so I'm getting down to the very, very end of the wire. I've got this much left. That's too little of an amount to hold on to. So I'm going to take this off of the tool, okay? And there is the little coil. Now, I do want to come in and trim that tail off because we don't need that. And I want to take a look at the other end as well, where we started. You can see that little piece is just kind of popping up right there at the end. I'm going to trim that off too. Okay. All right, so that was our 6-inch piece of wire. Now we are going to take a pair of nylon jaw pliers, and we are going to kind of flatten this out. And so I start with just a little bit of the coils and kind of mush them down. You see what I'm doing there? Just kind of flattening a small section at a time with my nylon jaw pliers. I get to a part where I need to flip it over here to the other side. Okay, I'm just laying those coils down, just kind of mushing them and making them all lay down. Oh, I messed up the end of that one. That's all right though. Okay, so when you lay them all down with your nylon jaw pliers, this is what you're going to have. And if you'll notice with the earring, that's going to be that first layer right here underneath our component. And I want it to have a kind of a curved shape to it, which it's naturally going to have. But if it doesn't and it ends up being flat, you can definitely come in with your fingers and just kind of coax it into a little arch. You don't want it to be a deep V. Just a, you know, just a kind of smooth little curve to it, okay? And then you can see here on the end where I kind of mushed too hard. That's okay. I can come in with my cutter tool and just trim off that end piece. You'll never even notice it, okay? So sort of looks like a little caterpillar. So we've got one little caterpillar here, and that's going to lay underneath our component. We're going to attach it with some jump rings, okay? And I'm going to leave it at this point. I'm not going to attach it just yet, but I do want to stop for just a second, and this would be step 2, okay? So if this earring is enough, you can stop here, or you can come to this point and attach both ends with a 6mm jump ring, and you've got another stopping point, and you've got a really cool earring, okay? Or you can add the dangles to this too. See how the dangles, we've got these check glass beads dangling from that bottom layer of our coil. We're going to do that next coil. You could take all of the dangles and hang them from here instead of going down an extra layer, okay? So a lot of different steps here where you could stop at any point and you would still have a really awesome earring. So there's earring number 2 in there, okay? All right, so we're going to take our 8-inch piece of our wire and we are going to create another one of the little coils. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit longer. Same thing, we're using the smallest mandrel of the small bell making pliers to do this. And I'm just going to turn that first loop. Okay, and then all of the next loops are going to go right over the top of the one that I just made. And I'm just guiding the wire between my fingers and opening and closing the tool ever so slightly. And just as a side note, this is a great way to make jump rings if you need jump rings. You can always use your bell making pliers if you're in a pinch and you need some jump rings. This is a great little way to get a quick set of jump rings together. All right, so this one with the 8" is going to be noticeably bigger. We want to get to that same point where it's just too small to hold on to. So, Suzanne, it is as easy as I make it look. You need to try it. You'll see. You'll see. You can totally do this, and it is totally as easy as I make it look. I promise. I promise. If it's not, you can send me a message and yell at me. I've given you permission, Suzanne. Everybody heard it. Suzanne has permission to fuss at me. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on this one. We're going to put it in the nylon jaw pliers, and we are going to very gently with the first couple. Once you get the first few to lay down, then you just kind of have to coax them, right? Once you get the first 2 or 3 to lay down, then it's much easier to get the rest of them to kind of follow suit. Okay, that's the first little bit, and you can see I've got the rest of this left over. And come to the other side here. Just kind of okay. So I'm going to kind of pinch this one in the middle a bit. That also is going to help to get that curve shape, is to kind of pinch at it from this direction instead of this direction, okay? That's really going to help to give it that curve. And that is exactly the shape that we want. And when we lay it underneath the first one, you can see that there is a noticeable difference. Whoops, oh my goodness. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to do that. I do want to work on this one just a little bit more. I'm going to deepen up that curve just a tiny, tiny bit. So just lay them down and make sure that they're going to make a good step, okay? If they're not, you can adjust them just a little bit. You can trim off the edges if you need to. You can bend them with your fingers just a little bit, okay? All right, so at this point, again, you could stop here again if you wanted to. You could lay this all out and attach all of this with your 6mm jump rings without any of the dangles at the bottom, and you'd have a really cool earring. But we are extra, and we love this Czech glass bead. This blue, I cannot get enough of. So we definitely want to take this all the way to the finish line. And so we are going to just wire wrap. We're going to put these on head pins. I'm doing 5 of them. 3 of them are already done. I'm going to do 2 of them, and then I'm going to show you how to put everything together, okay? And I'm just using regular head pins for this. I'm not making my own head pins, which I normally do. I know we haven't done that in a while. We will soon, though, I promise, okay? So I'm just going to thread my Czech glass bead onto a head pin, and we're just going to do a simple wrapped loop here on the top, bend the wire, bring in the round nose pliers, up and over, roll that out of the way, on over, okay, and do the wire wrapping. So there's one. I'm going to trim that tail off in just a second. We'll do them both at the same time. Okay. And here is the other. This cord just will not get out of my shot. That's driving me crazy. All right. I know it's probably not bothering you guys, but every time I look up, that's all I see is that cord. Are you guys talking about ice cream? Oh my goodness. I gotta tell you, you guys better be glad that we don't have like smell-o-vision, or what would Facebook Live smell-o-vision? What would be the equivalent there? I don't know, but I just had like 6 pickles before I came to do the live, and so you guys be really glad that we're not in person, because I definitely just ate some pickles, but I could go for some ice cream for sure. All right, there are my wire wraps. Now I'm ready to trim off my tail. Okay, there's one. And here's the other one. So we're going to need 5 of these for the bottom. Let me move this out of the way just a bit. Move back over here. Okay, so the easiest way to do this, I'm going to put this one over here. The easiest way to do this is to attach the dangles first before we put the rest of the earring together. No, definitely not pregnant, Suzanne. Definitely not. I can promise you that. That would not be a fun surprise. Nope, definitely not. So we're going to attach the dangles here with 6mm jump rings, and I'm going to start on the edges and then put one in the middle, and then we're just going to kind of eyeball it because we're not working with actual loops here. Since we're working with a flattened spiral, it's a little bit different than if we were working with regular loops. If we were working with loops, you could count them out and make sure that everything is nice and even. Because we're working with a flat spiral, it really doesn't matter if you get it exact or not. You just want to get it close, right? You just want it to be as close to center as possible. Nobody is ever going to know the difference. If it bugs you, you can count through here and line it up and get it exact, but I never ever do it that way, which is weird for me because I'm such a weirdo about making sure that things are even, but I can get away with it on this particular design and it not bother me. So let me grab some jump rings here. Alrighty. So I'm just going to open up a 6mm jump ring. Denise says no to scratch and sniff Facebook videos. I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. That would just be weird. Okay. All right, so I've opened up a 6mm jump ring, and I'm going to thread this through the very last little loop, and I'm going to thread on one of my beads. Okay, and then I'm going to close that back. So I'm going to do the ends first because I know those are going to be nice and even. Okay. This has been a really weird conversation tonight. We've talked about weird things. That's funny. Okay, and one on the other end, and thread on our bead and close that back. Okay, so now I want to kind of look at it, which is kind of hard because it's flat if I'm showing it to you guys, but just kind of want to eyeball it and figure out like where in here is going to be the middle. Just want to get as close as possible. It doesn't have to be exact, but for Becky says she wants to get it even. She has the OCD that I have too. You can count them out, find the middle, trim off if they are even and you need an odd number. Totally up to you. I'm gonna just ignore it and go to my happy place in my brain and say that say that it is even. It is perfectly spaced. All right, so also something to note that these spirals here are pretty close together, so you are going to have to kind of wiggle your jump ring in there. Sometimes it slips right through and there's no problem, but if your little spirals are not mushed out and there's not enough space, you might have to wiggle just a little bit. Or you can bend the entire thing and it will open up enough room for your jump ring to pop right through. Okay, so there's that middle jump ring. We're going to pretend that that was perfect. Absolutely perfect, you guys. First try. So good. Okay, closing that back. All right, now we have to kind of eyeball it with the other two as well because we're going to put 2 more beads in between. We're going to put in the space here and in the space here. There's really, again, you just want to kind of eyeball it unless you want to count it all out, but I'm going to just try to get as close as possible because once everything is hanging, you get the entire earring together, it's all going to hang in such a way that there's just enough room for everybody, so you really are never ever going to know. I promise. Take my word for it, you guys. All right, so again, I'm going to come and try to find the middle between these two. Just kind of eyeball it. Get as close as I can to it. Pop that jump ring through. Need to wiggle it through on the back. I can see it. Just need to open it up just a little to get that through there. Hold on. And it can take more than one try. I don't want to mess up the jump ring, which I think I have done on this one. No, it's still okay. All right, let's try again, shall we? Looking for the middle. Might be easier to go from the back. And it totally is doable because I've made this earring 3 times now, I promise. It's just such a tight little space. There we go. I got it that time, okay? Pop that little bead on, and then you're gonna have to coax that jump ring back together. I did unfortunately get this one out of shape just a little bit, but you're not gonna notice it. Just as long as you get a good closure on it, that's really the most important part, okay? If it turns into an oval, nobody's gonna know. All right, so you can see that's pretty even, right? For just eyeballing it, that's pretty good. And you can see with the beads all lined up, they're gonna hang perfectly anyways. All right, so we've got one more to go, and then we are going to put everything together with another series of jump rings. And that part is much easier. It usually goes much smoother. So again, just find the middle, wiggle your jump ring in there. There we go. Pop your bead on. Okay. And make sure you get a good closure on that. Okay. So there we go. We've got all of our beads. And those are all going to hang really, really nicely. And now we need to connect this bottom layer to the next little layer of coils, and we're going to attach those with another set of 6mm jump rings. So we're going to take a 6mm jump ring and again we're going through the last coil on the bottom row here. Okay, hook that through, and then you want to hook this through the last coil on the smaller one as well. And close that jump ring. You want to do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, open up another jump ring and thread these two together. Okay, close that back. We're almost done. Now, the last thing we need to do is we need to attach our little dangles here to our component. And so we're going to do that with 2 more jump rings. Okay, and again, they're going to go on the last coil on that top row of the spiral. So I'm going to open up a jump ring, go through the last little loop, pop the component on, close the jump ring back, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then our earring is going to be done. And all along the way, we've had the opportunity to make what maybe we have 1 earring that you can make 4, maybe 5, maybe even 6 different ways. You can really change this design up, make adjustments where you need to, and you can have a really beautiful chandelier earring that is large and in charge. Definitely a fabulous, I agree, Sandy, fabulous pair of earrings. Or you can shorten these up. You can go as simple as just 1 check bead. Hang some check beads from the circle here. Forget the coils altogether. Or do 1 row of the coils and no beads. 1 row of the coils and beads, 2 rows of the coils, no beads, and then add your beads. So there's a step that everybody is going to find, right? There's going to be a happy medium in there somewhere for everybody. And it all starts with this 1 component that you can then take this component and turn into a pendant or a link in a bracelet, or I don't know, hang a beautiful floral tassel from this. Uh-oh, there we go. Sorry, I thought we lost connection there for just a second. So a lot of different options here with just this 1 earring design. You could turn this into so many different things. All right, so let me turn you around and I'll put one of these on for you guys so you can see what they look like. And then I'll let you guys go for the night. You can see. Now that's a fabulous earring, I gotta tell you. That is a fabulous springtime earring. This is definitely a statement earring that you don't really, I mean, knowing me, I would still have tons of other jewelry on, but it's one of those that like, you don't have to even wear anything else. You don't need a necklace. Who needs a necklace? Look at these earrings, they're fabulous. So there you go. These are super fun, easy to do, put together, and you can find that space in there between 1 bead and 6 beads and find your happy place when it comes to this design. Take it and turn it into your own creation, right? You can do all kinds of different things with this. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I love it. I love giving you one that you can make 6 different ways. That's really fun, right? That's what jewelry is all about. It's about taking one idea and turning it into 15 other things, and no 2 ideas are alike. I love it. It's lots of fun. That's what makes jewelry, at least for me, that's what makes making jewelry so much fun. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well, and we have fabulous earrings to show for it. Pretty cool. All right. So that is it for me, you guys, for our Monday maker. Do not forget 40% off until tomorrow morning on all mixes. And the coupon code for that is May 4th. Yeah, all together. No spaces. Don't put the spaces in the coupon code box. That never works, all right? And then definitely check out the rest of the weekly deals. There is some sort of deal for everybody and every budget. Check out all of the fun new things that are going on over on JessieJamesBeads.com. And I will see some of you tomorrow morning, or not tomorrow morning, but tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern time over on Dress It Up Buttons, which is the Jessie James Beads sister company. And we are going to be we're making cactuses tomorrow for Cinco de Mayo. So come join us if you want to see some crafty fun. It's going to be a fun one, I think. I think that it's going to be it's an interesting project. I think they're neat. So if you want to see how to make a cactus, come hang out with us. If not, I will see you guys again on Thursday at 11 a.m. with another fun project. And there might just be an extra Facebook Live, a Magical Mystery Bead Box unboxing somewhere between now and then. We will let you guys know for sure when that's going to happen. All right. Have a great Monday, you guys. I will see you guys again soon. Bye.